Hey, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Entro. If you're new here we talk about books and anything else. Right now, it's just books. It's going to get more later. If you're coming back, welcome. Today, I'm just talking about everything that I read in January and what I want to read in February and what's to come. So, let's get started. First things first, what did I read in January, right? I didn't read much, but I read a lot. January was a roller coaster, okay? January was a roller coaster. This is my January and February stack, by the way, so just so you know. So January was a roller coaster. Here's everything that I read in January, right? I read The King of Scars first. Then I read Six of Crows. Then I read Crooked Kingdom. And I know what you're thinking if you read these books, right? Why did you read King of Scars before Six of Crows? See, I wasn't told that Rule of Wolves technically is after the Six of Crows duology. I just thought they were both after the events of Shadow and Bone. So I didn't think it'd be a problem. And then I got 2 pages into the book and Nina's talking about her dead lover, and I was like, oh, I missed a lot. I missed quite a bit of what happened. But the issue was that the reason why I started King of Scars first was because I didn't get Six of Crows from my public library early enough. It was backward. It was like everybody had it out. I kept having it on hold. So I read King of Scars first, and then eventually I was like, forget it. I'm not going to wait for the public library to come give me the book. I'll just buy the book myself. I'm like, forget it. I'll buy the book because I heard it's really good. And I was like, you know what? I'll trust people. I'll buy the book. The day I put the order in for the book, or the day I got the book from Amazon, the public library sent me an email saying, hey, your book's ready. I was like, the fuck do you mean the book is ready? What do you mean? What do you mean? What's going on? But regardless, I read King of Scars first, and I do have to say, first things first, if you read Shadow and Bone and you don't like it, I get it. I didn't like it either. King of Scars, Six of Crows, the 2 duologies fix everything that's wrong with the Shadow and Bone trilogy. They fix everything that's wrong with it, literally everything that's wrong with it. And the big thing is there's no more Alina Starkov in these books, so you don't have to worry about that, because literally every other part of Shadow and Bone trilogy is great. It's just Alina Starkov, in my opinion, that I don't like. So these fix everything. King of Scars. Okay, let's talk about King of Scars real quick. I'm not going to go into a full review of these. I'm just going to tell you what I thought. So King of Scars takes place after the events of Shadow and Bone, where King Nikolai takes control of the throne, and a lot of things happened. King Nikolai Lantsov has a lot of issues currently: a demon resting inside of him, a nation at potential war, drugged up Grisha to save, he has a shoe to deal with. So there's a lot of issues like that. I personally loved the book. For me, it's a solid 4, if not 4.5, because it has really basically everything that I want in the book. It had just a ton of banter. So the big difference between the Six of Crows duology and this is the kind of banter that I love, because I love King Nikolai and his facetious banter and his sarcastic comments. The perfect woman is in this book. Her name is Zoya Nazilensky, and I'm going to make a video on that later, why she's the perfect woman. Look out for that short. Then you have Genya, you still have David, you have Tamar and Talia, you have more players coming in, and so it's just a really, really good story, in my opinion, right? There was a twist that I did not see coming at the end, a couple of twists actually that I did not see coming at the end. I was like, oh shit, Lee Bardugo, you actually stepped up your game here. So King of Scars was great. I really enjoyed my time in it. I would probably reread it in the future, to be honest. To be honest, at some point I will probably buy the 2 duologies, because they're just that much better than the trilogy itself. And if the trilogy was made like the duologies, it would be almost a 5-star trilogy, to be honest. But it's a 3-star trilogy because it's just a first-person point of view of Alina Starkov, who's not that great of a protagonist, by the way. But King of Scars is great. You have multiple points of views through, you have a Zoya point of view, Nikolai. I started making a reading list, by the way, of all the books that I'm reading starting this year, so I kind of know and can go back to my notes. It's on Notion, and it's really basic, so I wouldn't worry about what it is or how it looks. But you have points of view of Nikolai, Zoya, Nina, and Isak. So those are the only 3 that you really get throughout the book. And like I said, the banter is amazing. The relationships are amazing. It's so good. It's so good. It's so it's really funny. I find this is a more lighthearted, though the concepts are deep and the plot is, death, destruction, war, etc. This is more lighthearted than Six of Crows. But King of Scars was my first novel that I read, 4 to 4.5 stars. Like, it's somewhere in between there, depending on like how I feel and how I'm thinking about it. That was great. Next thing that I read was Six of Crows. Now, Six of Crows was heavily recommended to me on TikTok. And if you don't follow me on TikTok, I recommend you do. My videos are bangering out there, and I'm having a lot of fun there. I would really recommend you also follow me on there if you don't. Six of Crows was highly recommended, right? People say this is like one of their favorite duologies of all time, if not one of their favorite series of all time. Six of Crows follows the events of Kaz Brecker and his crew, the Dregs, or I like to call them the Crows, and how a lot of people call them the Crows, and they get a heist. This book is about a heist. It's about money, about greed. Kaz Brecker is trying to destroy his enemies who once destroyed him. He has his crew of Inej, Jesper, Wylan, Nina, Matthias, and they are setting out to break someone out of Ice Court, which is one of the most heavily guarded areas, prisons, whatever you want to call it, in Fierda. So this book is about a heist. I fucking love heists, and I literally just went to town on this book on TikTok while I was reading it, and I was having so much fun with it. This book is pretty dark. It's darker. It's pretty dark. It's darker than like Rule of Wolves, Shadow and Bone, all that stuff. It's darker than that, because the characters themselves, like, you have lighthearted ones like Nina and Jesper. You have like monotone ones like Matthias and Inej, and you have dark ones like Kaz. You have lighthearted ones like Wylan. You have a lot of characters that play off of each other, and it's about all 6 of them. You get points of views of all 6 of the characters, which is what you want in a book when you have multiple characters that you need to be invested in. You need points of views from all of them to get to know them, to get to love them, all that stuff. So Six of Crows was a 4.5 stars for me, because it did have everything that I wanted in a novel like this. I was missing a little bit more of the magic system aspect of it. I was missing a little bit of, I wouldn't say like banter, but maybe a little bit more banter. But I mean, there's just a ton of banter. Like the only reason I give this a 4.5 stars is because like Crooked Kingdom came up, and I wanted to reserve a 5 stars potentially for Crooked Kingdom. But Six of Crows itself was amazing. I really truly think if you like the Grisha verse, if you like the idea that, if you like the world that Leigh Bardugo made, this is the book you want to read out of that world. King of Scars is the book you want to read out of that world. You have to go through Shadow and Bone to really know the characters. But I was know the characters for King of Scars, but for this book, you don't have to know any of that. They allude a lot to the backstories and things like that, but for the most part, you don't have to know any of that. These are all fresh characters. They didn't show up in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. They are only referenced in King of Scars, Rule of Wolves, because those take place after this. But if these are characters that you are going to love, you're going to be emotionally invested in, and you're going to really just enjoy the ride the entire time. Like I said, there's a heist in here, and I love it. There was action, there was mind-bending plots, not mind-bending plots, but they're like cunning plots, etc. Kaz Brecker is so foxy. It's not the right word I meant to use. He's cunning like a fox. He's sly like a fox, but he's not foxy. Nina Zenik is foxy though. Nina Zenik, if you want to call me up anytime, we can talk. But Six of Crows, 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And then we get into Crooked Kingdom. Crooked Kingdom is book 2. Now, like I said, these are duologies, and I'll go into at some point why I think duologies are the worst type of series ever. But for now, just know that Crooked Kingdom, before I start anything, 5-star book. Banger. Complete banger alert. If Six of Crows was 4.5, Crooked Kingdom just took Six of Crows, 110%. Banger novel. It's amazing. And the idea behind Crooked Kingdom is basically, after the events of Six of Crows, you have Kaz and the crew having to thwart an attempt at their lives, an attempt at somebody trying to rule Ketterdam, somebody trying to fool other merchants. It's basically there was less action in this book and more plotting, planning, cunning type. I don't know how to put this. If you want to watch a 2-minute version of this, it's on TikTok and I'll post it here. But basically, Crooked Kingdom is like Sherlock Holmes's, or Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, with a little bit more action. It's just more mind games, less action. And I love that. I feel like I didn't even need the action in this because there's so many mind games coming on. Every single time Kaz Brekker came on page and he was like, here's my plot. Oh, you thought X was going to happen? Well, I did. I thought of X 10 years ago and now I have plan Z. And it's like, how did you bluff all these things in like 3 minutes? Leigh Bardugo really did a great job fleshing out the characters in here. There's a death that happens in the book that completely broke me for like 3 seconds. And so reading Crows and reading this book, I was welling up both times. I don't really cry. I don't really well up, but they did make me well up, mainly because I was looking for like, where's the emotion that people are talking about? This is a great book. You have points of views from all 6 of the characters again. You have great character development from a lot of them, especially Jesper, Wylan, and Inej, and even Cass to an extent. The ending of this book, for like a 5 out of... Most of the ending of this book is a perfect ending. There's obviously one part of it which involves a death that I didn't like, and I wish it didn't happen, but it did happen, and then it leads into King of Scars, Rule of Wolves. But Crooked Kingdom, great novel. If you like mind games, if you like darker themes, if you like so much banter, bro, there was so much banter in this book. I loved it. Banter, I might make a banter scale for like books when I review them now, because if books don't have banter, I don't enjoy them as much anymore. My books need banter. I will say, I will say Six of Crows had a better world building, because obviously they went from Ketterdam to Fjorda. But because of how much time we spent in Ketterdam and Six of Crows and in Ketterdam and Crooked Kingdom, I feel like I really understand a lot of the plot lines, a lot of the geography of the area, a lot of the world, a lot of the city. And she did include, by the way, she has obviously her map of the world, but she also has a map of Ketterdam, which is really cool. And I really appreciate her for doing that. By the way, these 3-4 books all have maps, which is great. You know, like I said, if you have a fantasy world that's not Earth and you don't have a map, you're fucking up, authors. Give me a map. Give us maps. We all love maps. On behalf of most readers in the world, we love maps. Give us a map. Crooked Kingdom, 5-star book. I would highly recommend this duology to anybody who wants to read it. Read this duology. Read this duology. Hey, you. Read this duology, okay? This duology, read it, and then come back here and tell me your thoughts on it. And that's all I read in January. Because look at these things. They're thick as fuck, okay? Thick and fuck with 3 C's, okay? They're thick. So I only had time to read these 3 amongst all the other things I was doing in January. So right now I'm currently reading Rule of Wolves, which is the second book to King of Scars. Now, then I'm all caught up chronologically. Rule of Wolves is fun so far. It piggybacks off the back of King of Scars, where you have Fjorda trying to invade and start a war with Ravka. You have the Shu Queen, and you have these Shuhan relationships where Nikolai is trying to wed the Shuhan princess. The Shuhan queen is trying to kill the Shuhan princess. There's a lot of like deception and deceit going on. There's a lot of still Param is out there. You have the Kurgud. You have a lot of conflict in here. But what you do have is you have the perfect woman, you have the perfect woman, Zoya Nazilensky. You also have so much banter. Because this book is just made, if you have Nikolai Lansov in a book, you just have banter. He is the king of banter, and I love it. And I love that people like Zoya and Genya and Tamar and Tolia, like Leigh Bardugo has made them part of the banter process, and I love that. I love that. So I'm looking forward to reading more of this book. I want to finish it this week, but it might take me the entire week to finish it because I'm also moving this week. Life update. So I bought a house recently, right? I did buy a house, and so I'm moving this week. Videos might be a little bit short, but regardless, more things to come in the future. With this new home, I'll have a new office room to do a lot of content and work from. So it won't just be, it'll still be this desk, but it won't just be like this desk, the wall, and then my small little bookshelf. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more open and I can do a lot more in it with y'all, for y'all, whatever it is. So keep that in mind. And at some point, maybe I can take you to a house tour. I think that'd be fun to do a vlog type thing of me setting things up, taking to the house, etc. Now, what else am I going to read in February? So okay, like I said, thick with 4 C's, right? It's 4 books. I need to tone down tomes for a little bit, so I'm going to read smaller, shorter books, probably just for the month of February while things are really hectic with the house and work's going to be picking up a little bit. So I decided, I bought these last year and I wanted to read them, so I decided I'm going to jump into Alka Joshi's World of the Henna Artist and the Secret Keeper of Jaipur. I'm going to read these 2 books, and that's it. If anything else comes up after it, I will let you know at the end of February. But for now, it is just going to be these 2 books. We'll see how they go. If they're good, cool. If I end up DNFing, I rarely ever DNF books. I just read through them and just know that I hate them or don't like them. So I don't plan on DNFing any of these, but I will let you know my real thoughts on it in real time on TikTok, and then I'll let you know my full thoughts on it in YouTube after I finish reading them. Because YouTube algorithm doesn't really like pushing my stuff. I also don't get the YouTube algorithm, right? Let's talk a little bit of metrics real quick. So I don't get what the algorithm wants. They also the one song that I love putting at the back at the end, and the one song that I loved putting behind all my shorts, the monkey spinning monkeys one, they took that off. And so now I can access that. So I had to figure out other ways to make shorts, right? I like to talk. YouTube doesn't push that. I try and use trending audio. YouTube sometimes barely pushes that. I'll have one video do like a couple of hundred, if not 1,000 views. I'll have one video do 20. So I know it's a process of trial and error. And if the algorithm picks it up, But I just want to know, if anybody who's watching this, what's your experience if you're making YouTube shorts, right? How is it going? How are you doing it? What's going on? What's your process? Are you having success? If you have success, please share your tips with me. I would really appreciate it, because the only success that I have truly is because a lot of the times these videos are clips of my long form videos or videos of me talking. And behind videos of me talking, I really don't like to put music, because you can only add music up to 15 seconds on pre-made videos. So it's kind of annoying to only have 15 seconds of a 1% audio and then it cuts off because you're still talking. But I've had random success with that versus not having success with videos of just me talking with no background audio, whatever it is. YouTube also wasn't liking the way I did the authors of the week and the tropes video, so I want to redo those a little bit. And I did redo it a little bit, and that kind of got picked up. It was a guess the author video, so I have more of those coming out this week. But I'm really curious on how am I supposed to make YouTube shorts about this kind of stuff, right? Am I just supposed to go fully commercial, just be like, here are the 5 best fantasy books I've read this year. Here are 5 great magic systems for you to read. Here are the 3 great worlds for you to immerse yourself into. Here are 3 dark academia books to put on your TBR. Am I supposed to do shit like that? Is that what's gonna pick it up? These are just thoughts of a budding content creator. You don't have to worry about that. But anyways, I digress. I'm getting caught up. This is supposed to be a short video, and my videos are never short. I just like to talk. My videos are never short. I get that. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. And let me know what you're reading down below, what you're planning to read, how did your January go? Did you read books in January? What did you think of them? How's your February looking? Are you reading books in February? What's going on there? And I'll see you guys next week, hopefully for another video. If not, I'll see you the week after. You still get shorts, but these long form videos take a little bit longer to obviously record, render, edit, update, whatever it is. And sometimes I don't have enough content for a long form video, unless it's just me talking. But that being said, I will talk to you later. I appreciate you all. Have a great day.